What's up YouTube, Demi here with the next build guide for 3.2 Flying Purple People. This is my Slayer RT template character. You can use Lacerate, you can use Cyclone, Ground Slam, Tectonic Slam, Sweep, Sunder, Earthquake, whatever you want. I usually use Lacerate or Cyclone personally. With Starforge I prefer Lacerate or Cyclone, and then with a Mace I usually use Earthquake or Cyclone. Depends on what you have. It's very easy to swap the tree around. But there's a very detailed forum guide linked in the description below this video. If you want to not listen to anything I have to say or watch the Shaper run, just go click that link below. But we're going to go ahead and do a quick Shaper run. I just finished crafting my last piece of gear, which is this chest. So I have successfully self-crafted every single slot on this character for full mirror tier gear from scratch, which is really cool. And then my uniques obviously are all perfectly divined if possible. In my flasks. But yeah, I've been working on this character, I don't know how many leagues now. It's insane. It keeps getting stronger every patch. Like, it's dumb how strong this thing has gotten. I'm very happy with it. As you can see, I don't give a fuck about this damage. You do nothing. That degen means nothing with how much leech rate I have. I actually have 68% life leech per second on without anything up, and then I have my belt, which gives me 20% more on top of that. I think that transfers up to, I think it's like 81.6% or something. And then I have on top of that the Aracali Pantheon will give me an additional, I think it's like 50% more life regen on top of that if I've stopped taking damage over time recently. So when my Blood Rage is on and I proc my Immortal Call, I leech 50% faster for a couple seconds. It's stupid. Very tanky. I usually do Slayer with Lacerate, so this is gonna be weird. We'll be alright. Oh, dude, he has new voice lines. I don't know the voice lines, like when I should attack or not. That's weird. That lag though. I am still on a temporary PC setup. My computer kind of died a while back, so you know we're making do with what we got. I have a temporary budget graphics card. It's pretty bad. But as you can see, for a Resolute technique melee character, we're just cruising. I think in Path of Building I have around 700, 800k DPS on Starforge, sorry. I think Lacerate's closer to a mil. Yeah, this character is exceedingly tanky and very strong. Just good at basically everything. It's a workhorse character, right? You can do Uber Lab, you can do maps, you can do Guardians, you can do Shaper, you can do Uber Zeri. Like it's for everything. It's not like a insane DPS character, but it's a character that you can start a league with and you can dump as much currency as you want into it, and it will just keep responding to that currency forever until you have perfect gear. It's totally up to you. I have a like how to start the league guide, etc. leveling guide in the forum guide, but this will be mostly focused on what my current gear looks like in the end-game setups that you can use. It also works with axes, maces, and swords. And also staves. If you really wanted to use staves, you could. I tend to stay on either maces or swords, personally. But it's kind of up to you. Yes, degen. And since we're a Slayer, we have 20% call, which is pretty good. I don't know when this one finishes either. Come on, dude. Can I tank the beam? Ooh, wow, I actually can. I wasn't sure if I could. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I can tank that. No, I can, it's fine. Nice. You basically just need to not stand in those balls and you're good. And don't take the slam, obviously. Everything else is kind of just whatever. Okay, that phases down. But yeah, after this kill, we'll go ahead and talk through the gear slots, best in slot stuff, gem links, you know, all the good stuff that comes with the build guide. Pantheon choices, etc. Everybody always asks about bandits. The majority of my build is just kill all. It's also in the path of building paste spins, which are always in either the forum guides or the video descriptions. And this is the first of many of my builds that I will be updating for 3.2. So if you're waiting on a specific build, let me know in the comments and I will try to prioritize that one. But this one's been pretty heavily requested, and since I just finished that chest, it's time to update. Let's try not to die here. Tank the balls, because I'm not paying any attention. Now. I'm trying not to use flasks, so my damage here is a little bit lower than normal. Ooh. Mistakes were made. My bad. Should I cut that from the video? No, I'm gonna leave it. That's what happens when you don't dodge the balls, guys. I'm gonna be real with you. I can die, especially when I make mistakes. But if you play the character well, like if I was playing last rate, I would not have been in melee range of that, so I would have had time to react instead of being hit by all the balls instantly. So, but yeah, you can do whatever you want more or less most of the time. And since those are cold damage, all of my phase mitigation doesn't really help that much against that. If he's dead when I get back up there, I'm gonna be annoyed. Okay, good. So low too. Fuck. My bad. Alright, let's see. Yes, you can. It's fine. Bit out of practice. I'm not gonna lie. Been playing this league instead. Tectonic Slam on a totally different build, so this is just weird feeling. We'll be alright. I think Xana just got insta-killed, so when that happens, your solution is to just not kill the AI, the ads, and let her regen. As you can see, she slowly regens. So just like let her. All the ads do whatever they need to do. She's more or less good. We'll just go from here. Ooh. I-86 unset shaped ring. That's actually pretty good. Okay, anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the character. So, the skill tree, as I said before, the leveling trees are in the description. If you want to check those out, feel free. Or in the forum guide, rather. But we are Slayer, because Slayer gets a lot of stupid things, such as 20% more damage if you killed recently, area of effect if you killed recently, cannot take reflected phys damage, 20 seconds of onslaught when you kill a rare unique, and you cull 20% or lower when hit by skills. Normally cull is 10%, so this is effectively, I think it's 20-25% more damage on endgame bosses. You just don't have to do that much of their life. So I can call Azaro third phase at 20%, I can call Uber at 0, I can call Shaper, it's great. Every mad boss, whatever. Endless Hunger, this gives you 20% of overkill damage, leeches life, and you are immune to bleeding while leeching, which allows us to not have bleed on a flask. And then over here we have Brutal Fervor, which gives you 100% increased life per second, life leached per second, 30% damage while leeching, and life leech effects are not removed at full life. That last thing is the most important thing, because it means that if you hit a bunch of mobs, you pile up effectively this this life pool above your life, that's your leech, and it just, if you take damage and you're not hitting anything, you're still leeching, because you have that pile of cushion above that, right? So that's ridiculous. That's like the reason I take these nodes. You start with this node, and then this node, and then you go over here. Skill tree looks like this. I go through these nodes first, pick up life, pick up two-handed, and then I don't remember the leveling order. It's in the forum guide, but I have Vault Pact. The way that life leech works is that it doubles your leech rate per second, right? I normally, default characters have 20% life leech rate. This doubles it to 40, but we have other sources of max life leech rate to talk about first. So we have 20% default, we get 3% max here, and we get 3% here and 3% here. So that puts us at 29% max life leech per second, right? I also have an Elder Amulet, which has 5% max life leech per second, puts us up to 34%. The Vault Pact doubles that 34% to 68% of my life per second, which means I can leech around, I think it's 5.5, 6k life per second. And then my belt modifier, 20% increased life recovery rate on an Elder Belt. This gives us an additional 1.2 multiplier to that 68%, which I said earlier, I don't know the exact math. 68 times 1.2 is 81.6. I leech 81.6% of my life per second. Which is around 5.7k life per second, which is really good. And then if you have your Pantheon set up correctly, you can get this Capture Arachnoxia, 50% increased recovery rate of life and energy shield if you've stopped taking damage over time recently. We talked about that. The Blood Rage proc, it's physical degen. You proc your Immortal Call, which gives you immunity to fizz damage. You then regen leech 50% faster than you were before. So that goes up to actually about 100% of my life per second when everything's procced. So that's just stupid, right? You get life, you get two-handed, you get your more jewel sockets, more life. Blood magic, because we are Starforged most of the time. I am usually. You can play other stuff, but Starforged, you deal no LE damage, so that means there's no auras you can get for damage other than haste. You can't use Hatred, Herald of Ash, any of that stuff. So this is just like, this is effectively, what is that, 35% max life for 4 skill points. Your average life node is 5% max life. So these are almost 9% max life node, which is insanely valuable, so we take those. It also means I don't have to worry about mana while leap slamming, etc. Take all the sword nodes, more life, more jewels, more life. Resolute technique, keystone here. We don't have to worry about accuracy. I have a 100% chance to hit all the time, which is really, really valuable. And then we grab some more damage stuff, some more life nodes. Templar, life, and AoE and damage. The entire Scion life wheel, jewel sockets, attack speed, jewel sockets, and life. You don't need these nodes up here. I just take them because I want to be chaos res capped. So I needed a little teeny bit more chaos res, and these are good for that. Otherwise, you just drop these 3 points and pick up like 4% life nodes across the board, and you would save points basically. What else is there? Jewel sockets. So jewels are a huge source of damage for this character. You don't need them, but they help a lot, right? You want to prioritize percent max life on every jewel. You want to achieve high life like I have, and then after that, you just go for things that scale your damage. So if you're using swords, you go for things like physical damage, area damage, melee damage, attack speed, attack and cast speed, attack speed with two-handed weapons, damage with two-handed weapons, attack speed with swords, attack speed, or fizz damage with swords. You get a lot of options, right? I'm using swords, so all of my current jewels are those. They're life triple damage. I try to get at least 1 attack speed roll on each jewel. The more the better, because your movement skill is leap slam, so the more attack speed that you have, the faster you move through the map, the faster you clear, the faster you run through lab, etc. All of my jewels are life triple damage. Every single one. If I play maces, I just swap to mace jewels like this, same style, life triple damage or life triple attack speed, whatever you can get. If you swap to axes, same exact thing, just do that. As for your gear, I am using a Starforge, as I talked about. You can also use axes or maces. You could use Starforge, you could use Disfavor, you could use any of the rare any of the unique 400 plus DPS weapons, like Kondo's Pride, Doomsour, Kongor's Undying Rage, Murwi Urki, Hesmana's. Those are all options, right? You can also use a mirror to your rare weapon, or you know, whatever you got lying around, it'll work. You can start with anything and scale up in endgame. It's up to you. But I use Starforge because it has AoE and life on it. My Starforge gives me, I believe, around 400 life, yeah, which is kind of dumb for your sword to give you. You also get some. Yeah, no, sorry, that's it. It's a huge amount of fizz damage. This is a 716 PDPS weapon, which costs like 3x, so pretty solid. Helm, I'm using a Devoto's. You can use a rare helm if you need the life resist, but this gives us attack speed, movement speed, chaos res, dex, basically everything we want for damage out of a helmet. It's very, very nice. The chaos res is huge, and the dex is awesome as well. Other last unique is a Void Heart. I have a Legacy Void Heart. If you do not have access to a Legacy Void Heart, use a non-Legacy with prioritizing the chance to poison on hit. That is the best DPS modifier. If you don't want to use a Void Heart at all because you feel like it's not good anymore or whatever, it gives me about 30% more damage, but it's up to you. You could just use a Ming's Heart. You could use a Death Rush, I think is what it's called. Or you could just use another rare Steel Ring, for example. That works too. But for your amulet slot, you want to eventually you want to aim for an Elder Amulet. You can use like a Carnage Heart or a rare with life fizz to start out with, but prioritize life, fizz damage to attacks, and then everything else you want, right? If you need stats, get them there. I have fizz damage to attacks, Essence, T0 Essence. I have Elder attack speed. I have Elder max life leech per second. I have Elder non-chaos as extra chaos, and then I have all res and cold res. This amulet has been mirrored once. It's in my mirror thread. My ring has been mirrored, I think 3 or 4 times. It's in my mirror thread. Always link in the description below. But again, this is endgame potential. This is not what you need. This is what I have because I've been playing this character for like a year plus. So I've crafted all of my own gear. But this is Steel Ring. This is what you want. You want T1 Fizz, T1 Life, and then you want resistances in life and strength, whatever. Wed does nothing for this character unless you're using a non-Starforge weapon with Taste. Then you get a little bit of damage out of it. But because I'm using Starforge, all of the Wed on my gear does nothing. So don't worry about it if you have a Starforge. Yeah. That's T1 wet as well. Gloves, you want to try to get Insanity gloves. It's the Essence of Insanity over here. I actually don't have one, of course, but it gives you 16% more attack and cast speed. This is Legacy, of course, but it gives you that to your socketed gems. So if you have your travel skill, leap slam, faster attacks, fortify in here, it means that that movement skill is a lot faster. I have, what is it, like 500%? Yeah. With onslaught up and 3 frenzies, I think I have 560% attack speed on my leap slam. So it's kind of really fast, which is just nice. You don't need it, but it's just nice. If you're just going to use a random pair of gloves, go for life, go for attack speed, go for fizz, go for resist, go for whatever stats you need in strength, dex, whatever. Boots. I use two-tone boots because lab enchants, we don't really get much out of them. I can't use life regen, attack and cast speed while clearing is nice while mapping, but I want single target potential. Ellie pen does nothing, all the added Ellie damage does nothing, so it's just kind of whatever. I go for two-tones because I need the res, right? So for boots, you want to prioritize life and resist, and then strength in dex, whatever else you need, right? Movement speed does not matter unless you are playing Cyclone version. If you are playing any other version, you use leap slam to move all the time, so the movement speed does not matter at all. Belt, you can go for rare belt. Stygian belt is ideal. Go for a Stygian with life, and then resist, strength, life recovery rate if you get it. If you can get an Elder belt with life recovery rate, that's perfect. Melee damage is also insane for us as well. This is the best in slot for us, this type of belt. But if you can't get this, just get as much life as you can, and a Stygian jewel with good stats as well. I'm using this. It's dual phase life damage if you killed recently. I do not have a perfect jewel yet. I'm working on crafting one for this character, but they are exceedingly hard to get. Prioritize fizz damage to attacks and life, and then after that go for attack speed, go for damage if you killed recently. What else is pretty good? If you don't have a Sin's Rebirth yet, you can get on Unholy Might on kill. You can get Onslaught on kill. Lots of random stuff there. As for flasks, if you are using the Cyclone setup, you carry Quicksilver instead of a Basalt Flask with freeze immunity. If you are using any other setup, you use a Basalt Flask, which I would normally be using with freeze immunity as well, and make sure you get at least 23% reduced charges used on the Basalt Flask so that you can use it twice. If you only have 22% or less, you'd only get to use it once, which is really bad for a flask. After that, you basically just get damage flasks. So in order of price, cheap to most expensive, get your Aziri's Promise first. This is a bunch of extra chaos damage and chaos leech, great. And then you go for Lion's Roar. This gives you more melee physical damage during effect and knockback, which can be annoying, but with Lacerate it's a defensive buff. Since you're pushing enemies away from you, they can't hit you as much, right? After that, I think cheapest would probably be either Taste or Sins. I'm not sure. These are usually about the same price. They're usually like 3 to 4x. So I'd recommend Taste before Sins. Taste gives you Fizz mitigation because you take Fizz damage as cold damage, which means it goes against your cold resistance instead of just straight up Fizz. And it also gives you extra cold damage if you're not using Starforge. But if you're using Starforge, it's basically just Fizz mitigation. And then after that, Sin's Rebirth. This gives you Unholy Might during Flask Effect. Unholy Might is a buff that gives you 30% of your physical damage as extra chaos damage during Flask Effect. Kind of the same as the Aziri's Promise and the Amulet. So I get a lot of extra chaos damage. If you look at my main hand chaos damage right here, it's like 1/3 of my overall damage. Maybe even closer to 2/5. I don't know, it's a lot. Yeah, I think that's, oh yeah, I almost forgot jewels. That would be dumb. Alright, so main links. This is going to, I'm going to skip the skill links because you could just choose whatever skill you want, right? But everything else, your War Chief setup will be, I'll try to do these in order of priority. You want Ancestral War Chief, faster attacks, melee fizz, conk effect, bloodlust, damage on full life. It uses your life to calculate damage on full life, and since we're always leeching all the time when we're attacking things, we're always at full life. It's just like the highest DPS setup for your War Chief. You can use, if you only have a 4-link chest, just drop the last 2 links that I just said, right? Casting damage taken setup, casting damage taken, vulnerability, immortal call, and lightning golem. If you want more mitigation, you can swap this for a chaos golem. If you want more safety, you can swap vuln for enfeeble, but this is the damage setup. If you want defense, do what I just said. As for other things, your movement skill in your gloves, if you have insanity gloves, go for leap slam, faster attacks, fortify, and then endurance charge on melee stun. This generates our endurances while mapping, which gives us 4% fizz mitigation per endurance charge, and then our immortal call lasts longer because we have those endurances. Pretty valuable. And then random other links, you have a blood rage and a portal, and then you have 2 links to play with. You don't need the portal either, so I guess you basically have 3 links to play with. If you wanted to go the non-blood magic route, drop these 4 nodes. throw in a haste and a blasphemy vuln if you wanted, and swap this out for something else like an immortal call, increased duration, something, I don't know. You can use auras if you really, really want to, but I don't personally think I need them. As for weapon links, or your other 6-link, whatever, in order of priority for Cyclone, put this in here, you do Cyclone, melee physical damage, faster attacks, and then increased AoE conk. After that, you go for maim and damage on full life. Damage on full life is the last thing you always put in all your links. And if you want to play other skills, of course, I have all of the links recommended in the forum guide. Like I believe Earthquake is Earthquake, Ruthless, less duration, and then maim, damage on full life, melee physical damage. Lacerate is Lacerate, multi-strike, melee fizz, damage on full life, maim, faster attacks, I believe is the 6th link. Yeah, there's a ton of links. You can use any skill, literally any melee skill in the game, as long as it works with the 2-ended variant that you are using. But yeah, I think that will conclude the guide. Other things to say, if you want to do Uber Lab on the character, carry a Writhing Jar. For those who don't know what Writhing Jar is, it's a instant life blast that spawns 2 enemy Writhing Worms, right? And they have like 0 life. So if you actually just kill them, oops, if you kill them with this node right here, 20% of overkill damage is Leech's life. If you're hitting for like, I don't know, 10k damage per hit, they have like 100 life. So you're going to leech 20% of that 10k, 2k damage. It lets you run through traps like they're not there, since you're getting your overkill leech without actually killing mobs other than the ones in the flask. It's really, really, really nice for Uber Lab traps. You don't need it, but it's like, it's pretty cheap and you can get it relatively easily for Uber Lab. It helps quite a bit. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's fairly long. My apologies for that. The Shaper run and my talking took a little bit longer than expected. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next video. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and let me know which other build guides you want to see me update for 3.1 next. I'll be trying to do them in order of requests. But yeah, this is Flying Purple People. Hope you enjoy the character. Hope you're having fun in Bestiary League or whatever league you're currently playing. I will see you in the next video, and that'll be Demi out.